these people seem like they don't really like women all that much, right? They're like, no, go focus on your job. Be a Sigma male. Who has a really skewed and fucked perspective on the amount of money you're supposed to make? Hello, Kevin Samuels. By propagating the idea that you're supposed to make a large amount of money to be desirable, you're creating that scenario. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. We're heading to an extinction event, my friend. You're trying to kill off humanity, I guess. Men don't need to be providers. Men need to be partners. So, there's a concept that's been rolling around the manosphere. It's not new. It's fairly common. It's the concept of the high-value male. So we've got here the YouTube channel of a gentleman named Kevin Samuels, who a lot about various things you need to do as a man to be high value. Cool. But, of course there's a but. If you've seen some of my content, you probably can guess that I'm not cool with the concept of high value males. Now, why is that? I'm gonna try and make my my case, my points as I go, but as you can already see, I've got a ton of tabs, and it's gonna be might be a bit chaotic, but we'll go for it. Okay, so first we gotta ask ourselves, what is a high value male? Make sense? Well, let's Google it. High value male. Oh, 12 traits of a high value male. That seems good. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. What is a high value man? And actually, we're gonna, burst that ulcer right here. Let's go for high value male income. Because of course, what does it mean to be a high value male in terms of income? The manosphere gurus tend to talk a lot about income, the importance of income, and it comes from both genders too. Like both men and women tend to judge other men based on their income. And according to Google, a high value male is someone who makes a six-figure income consistently for at least 3 years in a row. So 100K a year for 3 years, that's a high value male. What is a salary? Oh well, 250 or 500K. Yeah, sure. A lot. We're gonna go with the lower end, right? 100K. If you make 100K, that's a high value male. Now, I have this YouTube page prepared. Just happened to pop into my feed. So I'm gonna take a quick look at this video here. Actually, we'll take a look at the comments for this video, and we'll take a look at the video a bit later. Dating tips for young men. So it's probably gonna be very informative. So, and the content of a YouTube channel can generally be reflected pretty well with its viewers, right? What this channel gives to the world, the effect it has, well, the audience is going to be collecting that. They're going to show, like, if this was a misogynistic channel, you'd be seeing a lot of misogynistic people in the comments. Unless they were talking negatively about the videos, of course. And like, if I looked at a neo-Nazi channel, I'd be seeing a ton of anti-Semitic and racist comment, and you get the point. So even before we take a look at the videos, what do the viewerships of these kind of channels talk like? Okay, well, let's see. So in the comments, I miss this man, for real, not only help the black community. So a lot of the viewership of this channel were black people, a lot of black men, obviously. Some black women too. They were listening to him. And again, dating for African American might be different. It probably is, obviously. However, doesn't mean that the principle of psychology doesn't apply here. But still, keep in mind that the world of dating, what is expected of men, is probably not the same for Caucasian and African American. But okay. Whoever is managing this channel and giving us another, continue to rewatch. At least everybody's aware that this man is gone. Here, 33 years old, making 50K after bonuses isn't gonna fly anymore if you want a wife. 50K is not enough if you want to get wifed. This is why so many men, even those who make more than 50K, are opting not to be married. This fits well with the narrative of the high value male, right? That in order to be a high value male, you need to make 100K a year. If you're making 50K after bonuses, nope, not gonna fly. Okay, let's take a quick look at the replies. I was making 48K at 25, which is pretty good, and was told that I was broke boy money. Okay, that's at 25, like you just got out of college. Okay, even making over 6 figures is the bare minimum, and you'll still get disrespect from your women. Well, ambitious men don't put a woman first. Okay, that's a bit I word energy, but fine. Agreed. Great. But women will find an excuse to get their needs met. Basically, women's wants are unattainable. That's okay. We're getting misogynistic comment pretty quickly here. I'm 6 feet, make 6 figures, 6 packs when I'm not in a bulk, but different. 2 master's degree in mechanical engineering. Shit is still tough out there, though. Wow. Man, dating sucks. If this guy in our temp will trust isn't finding a girl, well, big money, big body, and tall. Well, what else could there be to get a match? What else? You speak truth. Don't make a 304 a housewife. Don't know what that means. My advice to men, especially those who make less than 100K, is simple. Find a real good friend with benefits. Someone who helps you get your rocks off when needed. Take her on a date twice a month or so and buy her some gift from time to time, but don't marry anyone yet. You're not financially ready if you make less than 100K. Let's go for one last one. My son in his late 20s was making 150K. No desire to get married. He is happy where his life is. So again, a bit of I word energy. I'm 30, I'm making 130K. The best thing I did was swear off my dating in my 20s. I work towards my goals and have fun 5-6 times a year traveling, skiing. I deal with women when I'm on the vacation. These people seem like they don't really like women all that much, right? They're like, no, go focus on your job. Be a Sigma male. I want to ask you a question. What do you think the median wage, the annual median wage is in the US? Median being 50% of Americans are poorer than you and 50% are richer than you. Literally, you're doing as average as you can be. We take median because if you take the average, it can get skewed because if someone makes $100 billion, it kind of pushes the average way further than it should be. So median is a better way to represent the actual lived experience of the typical American, right? So what is the median income of American? Again, let's keep in mind, people who don't make any money, like teenagers or people in college who are just studying, don't count. The $0 are not part of the median calculation. And also, you've got boomers in their 50s and 60s who've had their career pretty much made, and they're at the max range of their salary. Okay, so this is going to push the median wage up because we've got a lot of boomers. Unfortunately, am I right? No ageism here. Yeah, so the boomer might skew the median upwards a little bit, maybe. I don't know. So, what's the median wage? In America, well, you need 100K to, even get your foot in the door, right? Like, according to these people, to be a high value male, you need 100K at least. So, what is the median wage? Where you're doing okay, you're normal. Wikipedia, thank you. The median wage in the US. So, we've got here the percent at or below, which means when we cross the 50 threshold, that's our median. Okay. So, people making less than 2.5K, there's only 5%, so teenagers, great. So let's go down. Again, what's the number in your head? What's the median wage in the US? To be right in the middle. Well, I don't know, maybe, is it the fabled 100K? Probably not. Might be lower, might be a bit lower, maybe 80, 70, 60, let's see. Go down, and here. We found it. More precisely here. The median wage in the US. We can't zoom on Wikipedia? Well, that sucks. Oh, wait. Shit's fucked. Oh, yeah, we can. It just takes a minute. Okay. The median wage in the US. Richest country in the world. Just barely higher than 40K. This is just the real lived experience of actual people making 40K. That's, again, the most normal scenario is making 40K. Now, let me ask you, what percentage of men are in a relationship? Is it more than 50%? Is more than 1 in 2 men in the US in a relationship? Yes. Yes. Which means, worst case scenario, we've still got a lot of men making 40K and less in a relationship. So let's take a quick look at, the numbers. Okay, men on the left, women on the right. Between the ages of 18 to 24, most people are single. Single just means they're not living with someone they're in a relationship with, be it married or just in a relationship without being married. So marriage, long-term relationship, very low for both genders. It's a bit higher for women. Women tend to date slightly older men, which explains the small discrepancy here. We're talking about 3% discrepancy. It's very small. The idea that women will date men so much older than they are, women in their 20s will date men in their 30s. No, it's 3%. The difference is, well, not negligible, but it's pretty small. Okay. Moving on, in their mid 20s, 60% of men are single. 46% of women are single. Wait, let's go. So, bit of a gap. About a 13% difference. And when we get to the early 30s, only about 38% of men are single against 31% of women. The gap shrank from the late 20s. And finally, men in their late 30s, about a quarter, a bit more than a quarter are single. Same for women. It evens out a lot in the late 30s. So, again, the idea that it's very hard for men to find a good date, well, it's pretty much the same for women too. So, there's not a big gender difference here. When you get to the mid 30s, late 20s, sure, there's a pretty significant gap, 13%. Okay, like so that'd be 1 in 8 men who could be a relationship with a woman isn't able to find one in their age range, if that makes sense. 1 in 8. It's not exactly the giant societal problem, but it's still significant. I'm not pretending it's not. It's not that big though. Okay, so late 30s, 30% of men are single. 30% of people are single. Again, they might still, date on the weekend, just not be in a serious relationship right now. And if we go back to the median wage, 30%, 23K. If worst case scenario, being the poorest person is 100% correlated to being in a relationship, that would mean, and it doesn't, you've got poor people in relationships, of course. But let's say that it was actually perfectly real and correlated, and yes, income is the only thing that matters. As long as you make it 23K, you're in the top 30% in your 30s. As long as you're making more than about 22.5K, you're fine. If you're making 23K, you're fine. That's enough money to be in the top 30% earners in your mid-30s. I guess money isn't that important. So my point is, yeah, you don't need 100K. to be in a relationship. However, isn't it still good to want to be successful and make a lot of money? Isn't it good if you make 100K? If you're making, I don't know, 40K and you're working hard to on your career to be able to make a lot of money, isn't that great? Right? You're working on yourself. If we say like we need to reach that ideal, that high value male ideal of making 100K a year, isn't that good? We're pushing ourselves forward. We're staying motivated. That's actually really, really bad. But why? Why would it be bad to strive to be more successful? Is it bad for me as a person if I try to stay motivated that way? No. You're fine. You're allowed to motivate yourself with the plan of making a ton of money later, right? That's fine. Especially in this capitalist hellscape that we're in. But it has a really pernicious effect on society at large, which is where I'm going to be criticizing Mr. Kevin Samuels. This man and his sycophant, his fans, really push the idea of the high value male and making good income. This man, specifically Kevin Samuels, really pushed for that idea. He's not the only one. There's a ton more. A ton more. However, I did find a study. So I try to be not credible. I try to be rigorous when it comes to these videos. You know, I'm just saying like, oh, Kevin Samuel is wrong. Why? Because I feel he's wrong. I try to look a bit at the numbers and see if it makes sense. If I'm wrong, like if I point out in the last... Yes, I'm very ordered right now. You know, I'd like to say, you know, all the manosphere people are wrong. It's so easy for men to date. Actually, it's the women who have it harder. No. Men do have it a bit tougher. It's true. It's not as much as they say. But yeah, there's a gap. That 8%, that's real. That's absolutely real. That 13%, that's real. Yeah. Why are so many more men being left single? Is it because the top 10% of men are sleeping with 90% of women? No. But the top men are in fact having an easier time finding a relationship. That's true. It's true. It's easier if you're a top man, whatever the fuck that means. That's easier. I'm not denying that. The problem isn't as large as they talk about. And in your 30s, it's gone. The genders are exactly the same. I gladly admit, in your 20s, dating can suck. It can, absolutely. I'm not here to shit on everyone who believes something I don't, but I try to look at the number. I ask myself, okay, so clearly the whole you need to make 100K is bullshit. But obviously, making more money is positive if you want to get into a relationship, right? If I made 150K, if I was a doctor, I'd have an easier time finding a girlfriend than if I was a car mechanic and a dirty garage. That sucks for the mechanic. You know, we need mechanics, but it'd be easier. You know, if you're a doctor, it's relatively easy to find a girlfriend. And I think I'm not a doctor, so I took a look. Is there a relationship between your income and your marital status? Do people who make a lot of money get married more? And yeah, probably, of course. If you're stable, if you're financially stable and you make a good salary, yeah, you should be able to find a partner and try and create a long-term relationship. Like me and my girlfriend, we're in our mid-30s and only now are we starting to, you know, put our roots down. We have a house, we're looking to start a family. We're in our mid-30s. Financial stability helps with that. So, the paper's pretty long. It was done in 2011. It's a bit old, not too old. The principle still holds. The number of married people here, one is 100% of people are married. It's adults, obviously. So marriage has gone down as the years have gone by. So in 1980s, it was a 65% marriage rate. In the 2000s, 50%. I would guess it had gone down. It's gone down since. The income is stable. Hasn't changed all that much, which is not that good. You have Reagan to blame for that. It went down in the 90s. That's great. I love this. So Right here, the amount of money people make haven't changed much. Marriage rate have gone down. Well, that's just, values that happen. There's less religious people, so there's less marriage. Yeah, that makes sense. The primary contribution of this paper is to document a relationship between income and marriage, conditional on absolute income. We find that income relative to a threshold determined by a local reference group is an important determinant of marriage for men below the threshold, but not those above it. What does this mean? It's not super complicated. It means that if your income is lower than an arbitrarily chosen amount that's chosen by society, you are deemed as less desirable. Oh, isn't that what we've been saying so far? If you make less than 100K, you're not a high value male, or it's super hard to date. Doesn't this prove this point right? Kind of. More importantly, it's based on perspective. This threshold, this amount of money you need to have, and if you don't, you're not as desirable. This threshold is completely arbitrary. It's made up, it's according to social perception of what a good amount of money should be. Now, who has a really skewed and fucked perspective on the amount of money you're supposed to make? Hello, Kevin Samuels. Oh, you need to make 100K, 150K. What's a high value male? Someone making 100K, 250, 500. You guys are wrong. The median income is 40. The arbitrary threshold where you could be considered to make a decent amount of money, 40K is reasonable. Why are you talking about these insane numbers? You guys, you, Kevin Samuels, rest in peace, by propagating the idea that you're supposed to make a large amount of money to be desirable, you're creating that scenario. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. By screaming loud on the rooftop, you need to be a high-value male, you need to be a provider, you need to make a large income, you're making it more real, you're making it happen. Interestingly, it's not only the men that talk about, the importance of a high-value male. If you look at these videos, he often talks to women, and they will say, I'm trying to find a high-value male. And Kevin Samuels destroy them with facts and logics, and hey, what do you think you need? You're worth it. Aren't you a high-value female? Something like that. Everybody in these communities are promoting the idea of the high-value male, and the idea of the high-value male is fucked. It's not real. Making 100K is not real. It's not realistic for the vast majority of people. Yeah, 100K. Where's my 100K? 100K. You're in the 93 percentile. 93% of people will not make 100K. Will not. Or are not making 100K right now. Inflation. So 100K doesn't mean the same. Whatever. If 93% of people are not good enough to date, well, that's stupid. This is just dumb. It's also not real. Again, about 3/4 of people are in a relationship, not 7%. By promoting the idea that the standard for dateability is 100K, you're pushing that idea to others, onto women. Some women are dumb enough to think that, a high value male, a good man makes 100K. That's fucking stupid. Less than 7% of people make more than 100K. Less than 7%. Less than 7% of people are dateable. No. We're heading to an extinction event, my friend. You're trying to kill off humanity, I guess. Thankfully, it's not real. And of course, outside of these spheres, in real life, poor college students, yeah, they date. Yeah. Tends to not be long term. Tends to be, they're finding themselves, they're experimenting, they're dating all the time. Of course. A bit less now with long distance learning, but yeah. Yeah, this whole high value male, it's not. It's completely unreasonable, and thankfully it's not real. So drop it. The idea that, yeah, you need to make a ton of money to be worth something in the eyes of others. Stop that. It's not true. I mean, again, if you want to stay motivated by moving forward with your job and promotions, yeah, that's good. That's for you. That's something you should do for you, not what should be expected from you according to society at large. And what's really important is, if you really think about it, like, okay, you person who's probably not making 100K, or maybe you are, is it good that you are judged worthy of dateability and worthy of being married based on your bank account? Is that the standard we want to use? Oh no, but it's the standard that we are using. That's how it. No. I'm telling you, is that something we want? Is this smart? Is a good marriage based on income? Is a good partnership based on income? I'm not saying it's not relevant. Of course it is. Are people more attractive when the number go up in the bank account? If I told you I have got $500,000 in my bank account, am I hotter now? Ladies, I have big money in bank account. I still look the same. Is that what we want out of society? I think we can all agree, no, that's kind of a bad way to do it. Is it how we do it? A little bit. Are you reinforcing it by promoting these ideas and listening to Kevin Samuels? Yeah. Yes. This whole unfair way we judge others based on income rather than who they are, what they've accomplished, what they're good at. A nurse could never be a high value male. A person who saves life, a person who cares for others. No, that's not a high value male. Nope. Fuck you. You can't get married. Why? You're a nurse, working full time, a hard job, a necessary job, a job that society would collapse without nurses. Nope. Can't get married. It's a good thing it's not real, again. One of the student I taught to, not gonna say when, it would be hard to find who that person is, but at some point in my career, I taught a social psychology class to a group of students at a private college. So students who tend to have more money on average than the general population. Cool, whatever. They tend to be better too. They had access to a better education, so lucky, I guess. And one of the students, which I really enjoyed talking to, she was a very ambitious lady. And she said, some people, like after class, we talk a little bit. Some people might settle for, a low range when it comes to their salary, like, 200K or so. But me, I'm shooting higher. I mean, I don't want to insult you, Mr. Teacher. I mean, 200K is probably what you're making, right? So, no. So, first of all, I tell her, well, of course, it's good to be ambitious. I hope you succeed in your endeavors. No, I don't make 200K. Are you fucking nuts? No, I don't. Nobody makes that. 200. What are you? Are you high? And it's very possible that it's a private school, so it's probably skewed, but the perspective on how much money you're supposed to make is super fucked when it comes to Zoomers and Gen Alpha. I mean, if they're looking at influencers online making, the successful one are making a lot of money, not doing all that much, so probably it's pretty easy to make a ton of money, and it's not. 40K is the median. If you're making 40K, you're fine. You're doing normal. 200K for a teaching position. I hope she's doing well. She was really fun. She was a really fun student. Like, very argumentative. And when you said something that she didn't like, she just said, well, I really don't like that. and then you talk about it, and you have a conversation in class and a mini debate. That's always fun, always fun. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, the whole you can be the change you want to be in the world. Date women who for who income isn't their priority. Is that possible? Yeah. 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 It's not that hard. It used to be in the 50s and early years, right? Women needed a man that could provide financially. That was necessary. A woman couldn't open a bank account in the US in some places. I'm not gonna fact check that too much, and you shouldn't too. But women were very dependent on men for survival. One of the things that was good to have in a man, if you wanted to find a woman to marry, was having a lot of money, right? Because women need the money that you can make. Only you, the man, can make that money. So that's what the women was looking for. Okay, and what's the man looking for? Well, women aren't really working all that much. They can't work a job that'll make good money, so they'll stay home and take care of the kids. So you want a woman that is good with kids, that is good at making and having kids, that's gonna be able to take care of the house, that's gonna be able to cook, because well, the man's gotta go to work and make the money, so the woman's gonna stay home and be good at being at home. Makes sense, of course. But now we're in current year, and women are still making a little bit less than men, but it's shrinking still. Women are getting educated. Women are in the workforce. They're all over the place. Women don't need a mate for financial stability. Actually, yes, they do. Women need a man that make good money, and men also need women that makes good money. Both me and my girlfriend, we make about the same amount of money, and that's good. that makes things easier. It helps us be financially stable. That's good. In this economy, yeah, you can't buy a house on one person working. That's stupid. Like the man goes to work and the wife stays at home and take care of 4 kids. No, you can't afford that. No, unless you've been given your house, which good for you. No, so women don't need a partner that makes specifically money to survive. Both partners need that. So making money isn't good enough. You just if you're like, oh, I make a ton of money, so I'm a high value male. No, you need more than that. And you're not. When we talk about high value male, we're not talking about all these other characteristics you need to have as a man to be high value. We're talking a lot about the money. It's always about the money. Men don't need to be providers. Men need to be partners. Actually, when you go out on a date with a woman, she can pay for her damn food. You're looking for a partner. You're not looking for someone to give money to so she'll take care of your kids because she can't make the money. Yes, she can. We're in 2023. There's still obstacles, but still. You're looking for a woman who is your equal, not your submissive wife. I am in the 300K range now at age 50, starting a new business that should give another half of that on top, but glad I met my wife 17 years ago. Found her rather submissive, respectful, and devoted. She's a pearl. This man, Pat, does not have a partner. He has a maid that he pays. Submissive. Women aren't submissive today. Women are opinionated, which is good because now they can be. Are you against human rights? No? Well, don't you want a woman who will challenge you sometimes? Both, when it comes to what you believe, but also intellectually? Don't you want someone that you want to maybe compete with in some ways, fun ways? Don't you want someone who, through relationships, you will be able to both grow as people? That seems nice. Not someone that you hope will just shut up and do what you say. Buy a dog.